back to our channel.
The holidays, at least in my mind, have officially arrived. It's still early November, so a little early, but one thing is already very obvious, and that is that bows are everywhere for Christmas this year. And I happen to love bows, so I'm super excited about that. And I really love the look of the giant Christmas tree bows. And if you want to purchase one of those, they are very expensive. So I decided to see what I could come up with for a little DIY alternative. And I won't make you wait until the end of the video. This is the final product. Definitely a more affordable option and super fun to make. So if you're interested, keep watching. All right, so we're here. We have our 5 yards of fabric, and what I'm thinking we're gonna do is cut. We measured the tree, and we think it's a 9-foot tree, and we think we need about 7 feet for the tails to go all the way down the tree. So this is 15 feet. So I'm gonna cut probably around like the 8-foot mark, 8 or 9 foot mark, and then use that for the tails, and then we'll have this much to play around with to make the bow for the top. All right, so I went ahead and cut it at 48 inches. We think we want the bow to be about 3 feet wide, so I gave us an extra foot to play around with, and then when we scrunch it, I think we're gonna lose some space. So we'll see how big the bow ends up being. So now I'm going to essentially try to hem the edges using hot glue because I don't sew, so.
Go.
Okay, so now the ends are nice and neat. So I'm going to take the 2 sides and I'm gonna glue them together. So I'm going to use this aluminum wire to try to mold the top of what I want the bow to look like. And then hopefully that'll help it hold the bow shape. So this is just aluminum wire. I got it off of Amazon. And if you watched my Disney Cruise Line ornament video, it's the same wire that we use. So you can reuse it if you made that project. But if not, I can link it in the description so you can easily get this. But it's not super expensive and it's very easy to bend.
Show 'em how easy it is to bend.
Like this. Okay, so my fabrics, it's so loud. Fabric is 48 inches long. So I've just got this so I can see what the middle is. So I've got at 24 inches. So I'm just gonna take my fabric and like scrunch it up there and then scrunch it up from the top, just like that. Okay, so I don't need this anymore. So now I'm going to take my wire, and I kind of already started. So that's like my middle section. So I wanna make sure I like how that fits, which I think that's pretty good. So then, now I'm just gonna take my wire and just with my hands, like shape it into like how I want the top of my bow to lay. So I want it to kind of go out at like a little arc. Just, you know, kind of like that to make the bow shape. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So the hardest part really is to try to make the 2 sides even. Can you come here? Can you hold this? So it's easier if you have someone who can hold the one side so it doesn't move. So now I can try to bend this side to match. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I got it kind of roughly the shape that I want. So now I'm just gonna cut off the ends so that my wire's the right length. Okay. All right, so here's my wire. So we're gonna stick the wire through here. Ah! All right, can you help me, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Yeah, go on.
All right. So now we have the wire in. No, don't pull it so far.
I know.
Stop. Okay. So like that. Now where's... So here, our middle's here. Okay, there's our middle. So our wire, middle of our wire is lined up right there. So we're gonna scrunch, and then we need a zip tie. All right, so I'm just using a zip tie to secure the middle. Our wire's in here now along the top edge. So this is roughly the shape of our bow. So I like it. I think it's cute. It kind of looks like a Minnie Mouse bow, which wasn't really what we were going for, but he likes it.
Yeah.
So now I want to stuff it to give it a little bit, make it look like a fluffier bow, I guess. And then I'm gonna seal up the edges. And then we'll see. All right, so we started stuffing it with just grocery bags. And so now what we're gonna do is seal up about 2/3 of the way and then finish stuffing it from the top to make it full, because right now, since it's not all the way full, when we picked it up, all the bags kind of dropped down to the bottom. So we need to make sure we have enough bags in there to where they hold their shape. So, so we have determined that this is way too much of a Minnie Mouse bow and not really the look we were going for. So we need to make it more narrow. And the issue is we had too much, it was too wide, we had too much fabric. So I'm gonna take this apart and then we're gonna cut off a few inches and then redo the seam and then just do the same thing again, just with less fabric so it's not as wide. Like, I think if it's kind of like this width, that's more the look we were going for rather than this full bow. But if you were going for this type of look, you know, just know how much fabric you use is gonna change the look. All right, so for anyone following along, our current width is about 28.5-ish. So I think we're gonna take it back to like 21 or 22, somewhere in there. So cut off, you know, about 6-ish inches.
Right.
All right, so I'm done now. I sealed this up. So it's the same exact thing, just about 6 inches more narrow. So we're gonna put the wire, same wire, back through and then stuff.
Wait, have you subscribed?
All right, so this is where we've landed with the bow, and we've done some testing on the tree, and I think this is the right size. So the bow is good for now. I haven't sealed up the seams just yet in case we want to make any changes, but I think we're now moving on to the tails. So what I'm going to do is I have this big piece of fabric right here. Brad, can you hold this? So this is just the width that it came. So I'm gonna cut it in half down the middle so that we have the two tails. And then I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the others to do my like hot glue hem to make the seams look neat all the way down. Cutting this, I folded it to try to, you know, make it as even as possible. I'm sure it's not gonna be perfect, but it's okay. So yeah, just cutting all the way down. side is done. You can see it looks pretty good. Nice and neat on the edge. So now I have to do the other side. This one had 2 open seams. The other one only has 1, so it'll only take half. All right, so here we have this very long stretch. So this is both pieces. We just laid them out together. So we are going to now glue the 2 pieces of fabric together. So now it is one really long piece that is going to turn into our tails. So we have the bow, we have our tails. So what I'm going to do is wrap this around to make it look nice and full in the middle. And then I think we're gonna try to attach it to the tree with a zip tie. So we'll see what works. Maybe a little trial and error. What I'm doing is I've got this like looped. So I'm taking the loop and then pulling both sides through so that they're both coming from the same side. Now, I can wrap it around. To make it look a little nice. Look nicer. And then adjust it. Yeah. There we go.
Bye.
All right, so I just found a branch and tried to zip tie it wherever I could to get it. All right, so the middle was looking a little less substantial than we wanted. So I just took this extra piece of fabric. This is what we cut off the end. And I'm just wrapping it around the middle to make the middle bigger. All right, so I just wrapped a piece of cloth around the middle to just make it look neater and then give it a little bit more bulk to have the right proportion with the rest of the bow. And here's how it's looking. And I really, really like it so far. We haven't decided exactly what we want to do with the bottom. I think we're gonna cut the bottom so it just kisses the floor, but we haven't committed to that yet. So yeah, we just decided not to make the cut, but I really like how it turns out. And just for reference, this is a 9-foot tree. So for scale with the size of the bow and everything. And now for the grand reveal.
Yep.
Ah! Okay, now for the twinkle. The best part of this tree. Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
There we go.
I love it. What do you think, Jay?
I love it too.
What do you think, Brad?
Looks very good.
This is the twinkle tree from Sam's Club, and we are kind of obsessed with it. All right, well, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below if you end up trying to make this bow or do a little twist and make it your own. I would love to see what you guys come up with. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.